duck lo mein. So that's slow braised duck with flash fried vegetables and bean sprouts over the top. Really simple cooking. Give it some love and you will love this dish yourself. I've got some egg noodles that I've got here that are soaked already, and they've been soaked for about 2 to 3 minutes in hot water, and then more importantly, dried on a clean tea towel so you can separate them out really nicely. As with most Cantonese style dishes, we're going to start with our base core ingredients: ginger, garlic, spring onion, and I want to get a lot of flavour into the sauce. So I've got a fair bit of spring onion here. First things first is I'm going to blanch the duck legs, and that's just to sort of get rid of any excess sort of fatty impurities. Once the duck legs have been blanched, then just place them skin side down into your pan. And you want to start on a relatively low heat, and it'll start to draw out the fat. Just to help it along, a tiny amount of oil will help that. And you're going to keep it on this heat for about 2 to 3 minutes before you then add your ginger, garlic, and spring onion. So now my duck's sort of got this slight crisp outer edge of the skin. I'm just going to take all my ginger, garlic, and spring onion. You do want to allow the sort of duck fat to caramelize on the bottom of the pan a little bit, and also more importantly the ginger and garlic and spring onion to sort of char a little on the edges. And that will add flavour to the dish. Now it's time for the sauces, and I'm going to go one by one and just start to build the sauces into this braising liquid. The first one here is just some hoisin sauce. So that's going to add a lot of sweetness to the base flavour of this braising sauce. Oyster sauce, savoury flavour. Notice I'm starting with the thicker ingredients. Brown sugar will work with that. And then the light soy and dark soy will lift all the flavour off the bottom of the pan. And what you want to do is scrape all that sort of stickiness off the bottom. That sugar will start to caramelize pretty quickly. So you do need to keep sort of stirring this, because with that sugar, it will start to stick. You're going to do this for a good 2 to 3 minutes. My meat at the moment is skin side down so that that skin can take in as much of that flavour as possible. And I've got a whole bowl here of Shaoxing rice wine. I'm going to pour all of that in. And that's just sort of, we're starting to add more liquid to pretty much cover the duck legs. Rice wine in. Bring that to a boil. Let that sort of alcohol bubble away a little bit. And then we're going to cover the rest with chicken stock. And you want to make sure all that meat is covered with stock, or just top it up with water. So bring that to a boil, and then turn the heat down to a simmer, and let it just simmer away without a lid on for a good at least 45 minutes. If not, push it to 1.5 hours or 2 hours. I've got some sugar snaps and some sweetheart cabbage here, and I'm just going to use this to sort of layer like texture and a bit more veg and natural crunch over the noodles when I dish this up. And I've got my little mini wok clock of ingredients here. I've got these washed and picked bean sprouts that will add a whole load of crunch to the top of this lo mein. Wok clock's ready, noodles ready, duck's cooking. Simple. So my duck has had a good hour, and you can see it's sort of sitting off the bone already. My sauce is pretty sort of thickened. You should, in theory, be able to sort of wedge a fork into it and just start to shred the duck off the bone. The sauce itself is quite strong, so I'm just going to sort of dip this meat into the sauce before then finishing off the noodle dish. And all the flavour of the noodles is going to come from that really sort of deep, savoury braising liquid. So from here on in, it's really easy because your duck's ready, it's all done. To be honest, the whole dish is easy. A little bit of oil, smoking hot, your noodles go in. Don't toss it too much because you want them to warm through nicely and get that sort of crisping. You don't want them crispy, just a light crisping, if that makes sense. So once you've got those dry fried noodles and you can feel that they're nice and hot, then you can serve those out. So I can go straight on to my wok clock of ingredients, and I'll start with my cabbage. Cabbage in. Again, we're making this little nest of noodles and veg. Every layer cooked separately from my wok clock. Smoking hot. Again, just flash fried because they're sliced so thinly. You want to keep their texture. Now, what I'm going to do is take my duck at this point before my bean sprouts and just sit that into the center of my noodles. You can see my wok is smoking hot here, ready for my bean sprouts. Tiny amount of oil required for this. You want it to be this smoking hot because when your bean sprouts go in, you want to hear that sizzle. Flick that through a couple of times. Lay those nicely over the top. Nice and piled high. I should have used a bigger plate, but that looks delicious. You know, I try to be as polite as possible when I'm eating it, but as you all know, that is not usually the case with me. A great balance of sweet and salty. And although when you taste the sauce just by itself, it could feel or taste quite strong. Once it's wrapped around the noodles, it's just right. What's your favorite noodle dish? Let us know in the comments below. If you like simple recipes or slightly more complex recipes with more simplified explanations, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, ding, hit that notification bell, and we'll see you soon.